Okay, before we go into this, I'm currently in a hotel, so if you can hear like any noises in the background, then it's just sorry, I can't really do much about it. Anyway, just a few hours ago, at the time of writing, DogPack has released a whole new video entitled "MrBeast is a Psychopath." However, before we launch knee-deep into these allegations, we will launch ankle-deep into the lawsuit and the cease and desist letters that Jimmy has sent to DogPack so far. So, starting with the lawsuits and stuff, you can review what is on screen at the moment. This is a cease and desist sent by MrBeast's employee, legal firm, or MrBeast himself. This letter alleges that DogPack broke his NDA agreement and disclosed sensitive and confidential information. Unfortunately for these people, that's called a whistleblower, which is the act of disclosing information about a public or private company that is deemed illegal, immoral, illicit, unsafe, or fraudulent. Here in the UK, being a whistleblower is protected by law, but in the US it's way more strict. But this is what the Department of Labour says about the topic of a whistleblower. This is what they say. An employer or former employer cannot retaliate against you for exercising your right under Department of Labour's whistleblower protection laws. You might be wondering, what are these laws? Well, if anything violates one of these 5 things that they mention, which is either OSHA, MSHA, which is for minors, OFCCP, non-discrimination laws, WHD, wage laws, and VETS laws, which is veteran rights, then they are legally allowed to whistleblow. What DogPack discloses in this first video shows that MrBeast's company allegedly broke OSHA, but I don't want to get into US law, so I'll wait if enough comments I'll have this phrase, which is law video. I might consider doing the full research. This is all alleged, by the way. Anyway, next they send a final warning to DogPack, which basically reiterates the point that he's violating NDA and is defaming MrBeast's reputation, defaming him so much that he has to delete comments on his newest video. His newest video, from where I last checked, was on the 1.9 million dislike mark, and the team is actively constantly deleting any comments to do with the scandal in the video comments, which I found really funny, deleting comments because they are telling the truth about your company to little kids, almost as if they're the only reason you haven't lost 300 million subscribers by now, allegedly. Okay, now we went over the first bit of the info, let's talk about the video by DogPack. Well, in this video, DogPack gets a guest, a former MrBeast crew member, Weddle, on the show. He alleges the fakest video he's worked on was called Destroying My Friend's Car and Surprising Him with a New One, which came out 5-ish years ago.
Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, my car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're gonna call my mom next.
Weddle said the reason he quit was that he didn't feel as if he got enough money for the hours put in.
They're and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing.
Now, DogPack asks this question to Weddle. Does MrBeast enjoy doing good and help people? Here's what Weddle said.
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal. And I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers. If I donate to charity, people can't say if I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy? I'm so glad he needed it that bad so I could come in and, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could, it made me uncomfortable that I was working there. And I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was gonna be. I was told at one point that I was gonna be like fourth banana, it was gonna be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, and then that never happened. I remember talking about that, like, hey, I thought my contract said XYZ.
There was a secret deleted MrBeast video that Weddle starred in, where he survives in a windowless padded room, unlike the one in MrBeast's 100 Days in Solitary Confinement video. Here's what he said about that.
And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the light would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing. So, you know, they're giving me, you know, melatonin, you know, it's not helping, you know, and then Jimmy would come in like every other day for like an hour, you know, to check in on me because he's doing other stuff. You know, I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that? They pretend to make it genuine. Time-lapse shots, and since they insisted on time-lapse shots, I said, all right, we'll give you time-lapse shots bet. I put my YouTube on with the whiteboard they gave me. And I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead and scrub that footage. You know, you got that whiteboard. Oh no, either that goes in or this footage is unusable. And then, you know, James Warren came in and erased it. You know, don't put that, don't. Hey, we can torture him. Don't you dare let him get a plug in there. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know. You know, I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, all right, you're going to jail. You know, like your dad. And like, it's a joke. But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy wasn't my friend. And he goes, ask me why I have two briefcases. And I'm like, why do you have two briefcases? And he goes, oh, because this one's for today, you know, and this one's for the challenge. And I go, what's the challenge today? He goes, you're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. To get the boost, and I want the cash, and so I start running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, how long do I have? He goes, until I get back. And I'm running until 3 a.m. When I got off the treadmill, oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. He stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. You know when you're watching a video and he's like, oh, stop, you're gonna make me cry. And he like touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Yeah, you know, your mental health's the most important thing. You know, just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is, I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S, he just stopped right before it got out. I did not get the 300K. What I got, he goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You know, you were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, you know, 100,000 some change, you know?
Then DogPack alleges that MrBeast wrecked sets and leave trash in the ocean.
You know, I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I had seen this Reddit post titled MrBeast leaving trash behind and debris at film site in Aden, North Carolina. Apparently he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with MrBeast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a MrBeast video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It, where at the end of that video, he actually says,
if you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
And this is what Weddle says about MrBeast.
I think Jimmy is a awkward kid who maybe, yeah, had it a little rough growing up. I can't speak on that, but I do have empathy for it. Because I had it rough growing up, and I think when you're hyper fixated on something, like I love stand-up, he loves YouTube, everyone, fixates on a thing, I think he just wanted to be the best YouTuber so bad, and because the industry's metrics, rewarded some not great behavior, if you're just going on autopilot based on what the numbers say, you know, you can do some things that maybe aren't good. Jimmy, and behind closed doors, he is not super great, and that image is cultivated purposefully and intentionally, and it's branding, it's marketing, it's YouTube.
And lastly, Weddle says in this response to DogPack asking about the Ava Chris Tyson situation from the end of last month.
Saw the Discord stuff I never, because when I got there it was like 2019, so I guess if the timelines add up, that would have been like handled, for lack of a better term, and then they started bringing more people on. You know, maybe they thought they had that under the rug. You know, all right, we handled that. Now let's bring in some writers. You know, and when I saw it, all that stuff start coming out, and the potentiality as of this moment of recording. You know, I know this has been happening fast and stuff has been coming out so fast. Just the potential that Jimmy could have been in those Discord chats, or even the potential that he participated in those Discord chats. He did to me. And if you're gonna make fun of my dad, I don't care what happens to me and my career and reputation after this. I had to say some stuff.
And this part is the big one.
The idea that Jimmy didn't know, or that Jimmy was covering stuff up. He didn't want stuff to come out. You know, he's very careful about his image. You know, the tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. You know, how do you prove that, you know? Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender on the registry and everything, who worked there. And like, you can, you know, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you know, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on that's one thing. You know, you go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, like if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around. And whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face could be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender? But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, you know?
That's right. Allegedly, a registered offender worked for MrBeast's channel while MrBeast was entirely knowledgeable and aware. He was legally not allowed into the state of Delaware, which can also be added to the theory that MrBeast knew and protected Chris Ava Tyson, but this is all alleged. As I do not want to get sued, please don't shoot the messenger, Jimmy Beast. Anyway, have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye. I'm currently under the sweatiest covers right now. I need to get out and actually have a good day in my non-disclosed holiday vacation location. That is... So, yeah. Anyway, bye.